Okay, I'm going to show how to maintain one of these cheap little slicers made in China, and they work good for what they work for. Don't expect too much out of them. But when they get dull, you can't expect nothing out of them. I'm going to go through how to sharpen them up and keep them working. Start off, make sure you get your back all the way up, because you're going to be touching the blade while it's moving. And if you cut a piece of your finger off, you want the thinnest slice possible instead of a half-inch chunk. Start off with a piece of Scotch-Brite and just polish it up a little bit, get it clean. And don't go all the way to the edge, or you don't want to cut your finger. You could get a pair of pliers or something. And then you gotta mess up the blade with a piece of steel pliers. It's not worth it. Just go from front to back a couple times, and you get it shiny. And you got to realize that it says stainless on it, but it's really Chinesium. And you got it cleaned up pretty much. Next thing you want to do is move your spacer back as far as it goes. And I'm going to use this, another Chinese thing. It's a diamond sharpener. You don't need diamond, you can even use a file because it's very soft metal. And again, you turn it on. Move the spacer back as far as you can. Keep your fingers out of the works. Turn it on. And you want to angle about 17, 20 degrees. And just bring it in from behind. And you let it run a little bit on the diamond. You could use an oil stone or slipstone. Even a file, it's very soft stainless. We'll run for a little while, and the other side just has a finer grit on the back side, and we get the back side. Look at it. Could use a little bit more. Now back to the fourth side again. And you don't want to slip. You slip, you take big chunks out of your hand. You don't want that. It hurts. And you try to get your original angle, you wind up with the original angle. Let's look at it again. Yeah, it's getting pretty sharp. So what I'm going to do, go to the fine side again. On the fine side. Check it again. I really should unplug it every time, but I don't. Now to finish it off, get your butcher steel and just press it up. Final polish on the edge. Oh yeah. Now that's going to cut a whole lot better. Now next step, I am going to unplug it. But I want to undo this. And first I'm going to, again, move this up so I don't have so much sharp edge exposed. This is a reverse thread. Just a spoon or a quarter or anything will loosen it. It shouldn't be too tight. Now grab it like this, so you don't want to drop this blade. Now you pull it out and watch out for the sharp blade, and that's what's inside it. Now put it down on a soft towel. You don't want to nick up the blade now that's sharp. And it's very sharp. Even though it's cheap Chinesium stainless, it gets very sharp. It just doesn't keep an edge. Now you're going to go through and clean it. I had cleaned it before, but you just paper towel. Now the blade rides against these little nylon, or probably nylon, I don't know what plastic they use, but it's some sort of plastic, and you want to get a little grease in here. This is the best stuff I've found, is Super Lube. Multi-purpose synthetic grease, and it's food safe. You could use Vaseline too, or even coconut oil. Just don't use Crisco or canola or something like that. They harden up almost as much as linseed oil. And a little bit, you don't have to get carried away. And put some on there. Then go over to your blade. Get a little bit in here. And a little bit here. And you put little dabs along this. And then I usually take a little bit and smear it. You don't need much. You just don't want the actual metal in contact. It'll last for years and years if they even don't do this, but I'd rather do this. Because I had this a little while and it works very good for certain things. You just got to realize it's not a $10,000 deli slicer. You can't make paper. Put a little bit of grease on here, little smear, not a lot, because it's closer in contact with your food. Like I said, use Vaseline or this is very good. I find it lubricate very well. And again, reverse thread, turn it in. And take your spoon, your quarter, what have you, and reverse thread. You don't have to do gorilla 200-pound gorilla tightening, just tighten. Because as it turns, it tightens itself. And now when you make your next cut, I find it's really good for slicing up meat for cheese steaks. And you know, about 1/8 inch thick slices, it cuts very nicely. You're not going to get the paper thin deli slices as you can get from a $10,000 deli machine. But when it's fully sharp, it does pretty well. And cleaning it, a pain in the ass to clean. But it makes, if you got a big roast, piece of roast beef or something, cuts it up pretty fast. You cut partially frozen chicken, chicken breasts, and of course you've got different vegetables and stuff if you're so inclined, but there's better ways to cut vegetables. That's it. If you have one of these, oh, and another thing, a little bit of grease on this slide doesn't hurt any. Just very, very little. Very little. paper towel and take most of it off. You don't want a lot of grease, but a little bit makes it slide very easy. And this I find don't have to on this little thing, but you could if you want. You could take that screw out and a little grease in there, but I haven't, and I haven't had a problem. And that's it. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.